In chemistry, what is redox reaction? We need to understand the properties. It is a combination of two reactants. What are the two reactants? There are three general properties which you need to understand about reduction and oxidation. These properties are: in reduction, there is a gain of hydrogen, where in oxidation there is a loss hydrogen. You need to understand the property that in reduction there is a gain of hydrogen gas, and in oxidation there is a loss of hydrogen gas, whereas in reduction there is the gain of electrons and in oxidation there is a loss of electrons. You can remember that wherever there is a gain in hydrogen gas, there is a gain in electron. Wherever in the reaction there is a loss of hydrogen gas, and in oxidation wherever there is a loss of hydrogen gas, there is a loss of electrons. And most important thing, understand this. In reduction there will be the oxygen's loss, and in oxidation there will be the gain of oxygen gas. Now can we represent this? Exactly, we need to understand by representing the reactions. Okay, so in reduction it's stated that there will be the loss of oxygen gas. How? Copper oxide will react with lead. It will become So here you can see that with the copper there was present of oxygen, and now the copper is alone, whereas the lead has joined with oxygen. Lead has gained the oxygen gas and the copper has lost the oxygen gas. This we can represent that, yeah, this is known as reduction. Okay, reduction. Here oxygen gas, and in this side, at the product side, the copper is alone. It means that now the lead has gained the oxygen gas. It means that the lead would be oxidized. Okay, now a main concept you need to understand that whenever non-metal gain electrons to become anion, we can take the example of sulfur will gain 2 electrons to become anion. Okay, and metal will lose electrons to become cation. For example, magnesium is a metal which has lost 2 electrons to become metal. Okay, so magnesium, which is having the valency of +2, will leave 2 electrons, will lose 2 electrons to become metal. Non-metal gain electron to become anion, and metal lose electron to become cation. What in the case of cation? As metal has lose electrons to become cation, so cation will gain electron to become metal. For example, it is becoming metal. Okay, so as it is a cation, so it will lose 2 electron to become magnesium metal. Okay, moving ahead. What in the case of anion? So anion will, as the non-metal has gained electron to become anion, so anion will lose electron to become, for example, as you see that sulfur, which valency was -2, has gained 2 electrons to become anion. So in this case, as anion has -2, so it will lose 2 electrons to become a non-metal. This is the most usual concept you need to understand, which is very helpful, otherwise the redox reaction is impossible for most of the candidates. Metal lose the electrons to become electropositive cation. For example, the valency of sodium is +1. So it will lose 1 electron, as the sodium has the valency of +1, so it will lose 1 electron to become a metal. We are taking an example to identify that how can be possible, like 2 hydrogen moles. Alright, this is the case. There are also 2 moles. And it's also having the 2 moles. Now in your MCQs, these type of reactions has stated, and they ask from you that which type of reaction is this. Either it's the reduction or oxidation. So now, can you tell that which type of reaction is this? I know that you can. Either it's oxidation or reduction. Obviously, it's reduction. How? We see that hydrogen with oxygen in the product is also present with oxygen. Okay, so there is no loss of hydrogen. Okay, talking about one thing which we have noticed. What we have noticed, that there is a loss of oxygen. Yeah, oxygen, the 2 moles of oxygen has been separated from hydrogen. Understand? I know that this is not balanced, it is unbalanced, but I'm not talking about the balancing. But in this, we need to understand that there is oxygen only separating. So there is a loss of oxygen, it would be reduction. It is reduction. Write this and you'll get mark. Okay, so now there is a question, main important question for you, in which they are asking about which one is reduction and which one is oxidation. Okay, so I will write that it is reduction due to loss of oxygen gas from iron oxide. Why? In this, you can now see that there is iron oxide, 3 moles of carbon monoxide. In the product, there are the 2 moles of a separate iron and the 3 moles of carbon dioxide. So here I see iron oxide, where iron is with oxygen, but here in the reactant the oxygen and the iron are completely separated. So we can say that this is the reduction where there is a loss of oxygen gas. Okay, what about this? 1 mole of aluminium reacts with 3 moles of oxygen gas will produce aluminium oxide. So this is, indeed, I know that you will answer it. It is oxidation. Here oxygen and aluminium are separated, but now they are gathered. It means that there is a gain of oxygen, which is known as oxidation. Oxidizing agent. Reducing agents. The oxidation agent is responsible for oxidizing. In this case, the oxidation agent, which is this, how? The oxidation agent is responsible for oxidizing the carbon dioxide. Iron has reduced from oxygen. Okay, so this is the reducing agent which has reduced iron from oxygen, and this is the oxidizing agent which has oxidized, or in simple form we can say that iron oxide reacts with 3 moles of carbon monoxide. Yeah, it will give us 2 moles of iron and 3 moles of carbon dioxide. So this is known as oxidized, as has gained the oxygen, and it is known as the redox one. That's why it's known as redox. Understand? And this is the reducing agent, this is the oxidizing agent. Iron oxide has given the oxygen, as now it's alone. That's why it's reduction. And this is the reducing agent. Understand? Means simple verse, which is oxidation in the product. So in the reactant it would be reducing agent, and oxidizing agent is the one who is in the product, is reduction. Metal enters a compound to become oxidation, and metal come out of a compound to become reduction.